Hey everyone, Ella Majors here, and this is a part 2 in a mini video training series I'm doing. So if you haven't watched part 1 yet, I definitely recommend you go and do that. I tell a lot about my journey in the first part of this series, which I'm not going to do here. So if you're interested in that, please go watch the first part. Because this one is all about the one myth keeping you from tapping into your power and becoming your healthiest, happiest, most fulfilled self. And, one of the questions I get is, Ella, aren't you all about, helping people go vegan? And yes, I absolutely am. But I also work with people who are already vegan, right? And actually, when it comes to the food component of that, it's just, that's the easy part. In food, for the clients I work with, food is just a symptom of something much bigger, a bigger picture, a bigger puzzle that needs to be solved to create and build a healthy, strong body, healthy, strong mind, and really a vegan lifestyle that you love. And so we need to look at the bigger picture here, and that's what I help my clients do. Because the actual food part, believe me, it becomes the easiest part of this whole process. So let's get started in this training. I'm excited to have you here. I'm excited to be doing this. This is what I'm just so passionate about, both the vegan part and the empowerment piece. So let's get started. All right, so what is this one myth? I'm not enough. That is the base of the story that so many of us tell ourselves. And that I'm not enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not strong enough, I'm not thin enough. These are all pieces of this story that we've created for ourselves. And the base of that is simply, I'm not enough. And that affects every decision that we make. That keeps us making decisions from a place of fear instead of a place of love and confidence. It has us making decisions based on a lack of love for ourselves, right? So we're not making decisions that are serving us best. When we think about overeating or restricting or being consumed with thoughts about food in your body, that's the place that those thoughts are coming from. And we often don't know, we often don't recognize that that's the underlying, that's the root issue. So that's a myth. That's a myth because you get to create your own reality. And so we're gonna X that and change it to simply, I am enough. And if there's one thing that you can tell yourself every single day, every morning when you wake up, every night when you go to bed, every time there's a challenge or a hurdle that you're facing, for you to stop and take a step back and start this habit of telling yourself, I am enough. And as simple as that sounds, it's first of all not easy, and second of all, it is the most powerful thing that you can do at this point to help you get on this beautiful path to a healthy, happy, empowered vegan lifestyle that brings you fulfillment, that allows you not only to have a happy life, but also a meaningful life. And that's what we do in my plant-empowered coaching program. So why is it? Why do we get to that place? It's obviously not serving us to think we're not enough. So why does it happen? Well, really, this is going to be something for you to explore because you've written into your story that there's this belief that you're not enough based on evidence, right? So evidence is your perspective on what's going on around you that has led you to make to have that belief that you're not worthy, that you're not enough. So whether that be getting bullied at school when you're a kid, whether that be someone telling you you're not pretty enough, you're not smart enough, people in your life telling you that. Or maybe you're just reflecting on other people and comparing yourself. Maybe you had a sibling or a best friend that was, an athlete and had all these traits that you thought you wanted. And you started, using that as evidence, as proof to tell yourself that you're not enough. And again, when we're using that as our base, we are never going to reach our potential. We are never going to find the life that we want, or find our true happiness. So here's the cool thing. The good news is that you have the power to write a new story starting right this moment. Right now, today, you can start down a new path by writing a new story, by exploring, your story, the old story. And I'm going to tell you exactly how to do this. But first step is believing, first of all, that you can write a new story. Believing that getting to a place where you feel worthy, getting to that place where, you are enough and you're good enough and you're smart enough, just the way you are. That's the base. That's the prerequisite for starting to transform. That's the prerequisite for making huge, huge life-changing shifts in your life. And again, we can do that right this moment. Isn't that exciting? I think it is. So how do you write your new story? So let's go through the steps. So the first one is you're going to become the observer of your mind. So that means taking a step back. We always think about the battle going on in our heads, right? So there's two sides, right? So what we need to do is separate the thoughts from ourselves. So we need to take a step back and look from an outside perspective on what we're thinking, right? To be able to take a pause and say, what's going on here? Let me step back. What are the negative feelings? Those feelings that aren't serving us, right? So once we become the observer, then we can start to identify and acknowledge and recognize the negative feelings that you have about yourself, about your life, about whatever challenge you're facing at that moment. So we have to identify those negative feelings. Now, for every feeling, there are thoughts behind those feelings creating the emotion. Okay, so the thoughts are what we have power over, right? The feelings come from the thoughts. So once we identify the feelings, now we have to take a step back and we have to approach ourselves, not with contempt, but with curiosity and compassion, because you deserve that. You deserve compassion, right? And for most of my clients, they've been giving compassion and understanding and love to everybody around them, putting everybody else, as a priority, and then failing to give themselves the attention and the love and the kindness and the compassion that they need. So we got to explore the thoughts with curiosity and compassion. And from there, we get to create new thoughts that will turn your story or turn into your new story. So it'll start to negate the old story. Now, keep in mind that old story is really ingrained in you at this point. Okay, that I'm not enough thought, like that's become kind of part of your identity. So this is not going to happen with, snap of the finger. You're not just going to introduce a new thought and automatically the old thoughts will be out the window. You'll never hear from them again, right? It takes some work. It takes consistency. It takes time, but it absolutely works. And how worth it is it to take the time, take the energy, do what needs to be done to create this new story. So I'm telling you right now, it's not going to happen overnight. It's not an easy journey. And this is why, so many people come in to enroll in the Plant Empowered Coaching Program, because it's 6 months of support, 6 months of guidance, a 6-month structured process for being able to rewire your brain. Okay, with all the support and the coaching and other people going through the same exact process to support you down that path. So this is absolutely something you can do for yourself. I did it. It just took me 8-ish years, I would say. So when I created this 6-month program, that's what this is all about. It's about getting it done in 6 months, not 8 years. This getting it done based on what is going to work, what's been proven to work. And it looks very different for each person, but the structure, the process is the same. And that's why we can have a program around that that can help you get from point A to point B in that amount of time. So then the cool part here is that even if you haven't embodied the new thoughts yet, right? Even if you haven't gotten to that place where you believe the new thoughts that you know are going to serve you best, you can still act on the new thoughts, right? So you can think, I know I don't believe them yet, but I don't have to continue making choices based on those old thoughts, choices that have gotten me to where I am right now, gotten me to the unhappy, unhealthy, destructive place I am now, keeping me stuck in this cycle. That's really preventing me from optimizing my life and fulfilling my life's purpose ultimately. So we get to act on the new thoughts. Does that make sense? I just think this is so cool, and this all goes to my favorite mantra is play life like a game, and that works for me because I've always been high energy, high intensity, high anxiety, and so to be able to take that step back and have some perspective and to turn it into something almost fun, like even when you're dealing with really hard situations, when you have this process down, and this is something that we work so hard on throughout those 6 months to get to a place where this becomes natural. This is not so much work. It takes a lot of work at first, but then it becomes your way of life. It becomes your way of thinking. And once you have that down, and that's just your way of thinking, then you really can embrace life and play it like a game. Isn't that cool? I'm going to introduce you to Valerie. Valerie came into the program. She had lost a lot of weight, but she was spending so much time and energy and putting her, everything into counting macros, counting calories, tracking every single thing she put in her mouth. That was preventing her from becoming her happiest self. That was preventing her from reaching her potential in every way because her energy was focused on macros, and we cannot get to a place where we feel like we're leading a meaningful life and fulfilling our purpose when we're thinking about how many grams of protein we ate that day or how many calories we took in and then how much we need to burn off to make up the difference. That's not leading to a meaningful life. It may lead to temporary weight loss, but if you're watching this, I know that you're done with the temporary thing and you're ready to make permanent changes. Okay, so let's take a look at Valerie and let her tell part of her story.
First week, I started using some of the tools and learning some of the things that she was teaching. And after I'd learned just a little bit, it was like all of these disparate, different things that I thought were unrelated that I'd been putting band-aids on to get over, right? My anxiety, the way that I ate, my exercise, my social life. All of a sudden, I was solving the problem at the root. So it was no more band-aids. And once I solved the problem at the root and was looking at the world in a different way, all of a sudden the switch was easy. So I went from thinking that I had all these different problems to realizing that now I can trust my body. It's not like I'd been told my whole life where I couldn't be a healthy weight because I was just somehow dysfunctional. Now I knew that I could trust my body. I could trust my mind. And suddenly this compassion for myself made it easy to switch immediately. And I did. Not everyone has to, but I did. I immediately switched into a completely whole food, plant-based vegan diet. And I stopped tracking after a week on the program. I haven't tracked since. It's been about a month and a half now. And I just feel so free. I can't believe how easy it's been. And I feel so much more connected to all the people around me, to the planet. I know that sounds a little hippie-ish, but it's true. I just feel this compassion for myself and for everything around me, and it makes living this way so rewarding and so compelling. And I just feel like I'm bursting, that I want to share the possibilities with everyone around me.
So, isn't that amazing? Yeah, I'm blown away every day at what's going on in our group, in our plant empowered coaching group. It's a family, and we have such an amazing group of women going through this. So not only is there coaching support from myself and our mindset specialist, Stephanie, we have peer support, and that is so important, between the individual calls and the group coaching calls and all the interaction that we do, in addition to the training you're doing on your own in the program. It couldn't be more powerful. And I know I get up in the morning just excited to see what's going to transpire that day with these amazing people. And that's fulfilling my life's purpose. And yes, all of this is making the transition to not just a vegan lifestyle, but a healthy vegan lifestyle, a life of happiness where you are living in line with what you truly care about. And that includes yourself, the other people in your life that you love, the planet as a whole, certainly animals. So big picture, you guys, big picture. And part of that is accepting yourself. A huge part of that is accepting you and your body just the way it is right now. So I've thought that this quote really goes along with that big idea. And one of the things we do in the coaching program after each training, I put a quote that really embodies what we learned about that day. And yes, quotes on their own out there on Instagram, Facebook, oh, great idea. But when you connect them with what you're really studying and really working towards every day, they're really powerful. So Hal Elrod said, to love the life you have while you create the life of your dreams. Don't think you have to choose one over the other. So thank you for joining me today. If you haven't booked a call yet with me, I speak with each and every person who has potential to join us in the Plant Empowered Coaching Program. It's very important for me to help you get to the root of what's going on, the root of your struggles, see what your needs are, see where you want to get to determine beyond a shadow of a doubt that this is a solution for you. And I won't just accept anybody. So we go through a really powerful process to figure out if this is the right solution for you. And then we take it from there. And so please book your free call. It's free. Please book if you are serious about making this change and ready to make a commitment to yourself. All right, you guys, have a good one. Bye.